I think a lot of people struggle to trust the government because you see a lot of politicians kind of flip-flopping on their views.
Decisions. Everybody looks at what's that decision going to affect me personally. And if it doesn't benefit me personally, then it's the wrong decision.
The government's always been very opaque with the things that it does.
It contains bureaucracy, several branches. There's just so much going on.
They never focus on the good. They just like to point out all the bad.
They don't do the things that they are supposed to. They promise you, they tell you all the dreams, and they say all the dreams, and they go to Washington DC, and they don't do any of the things that they put out.
Well, I would say probably overall it creates, I guess, a sense of lack of information and lack of credibility overall. So it hurts the credibility of the U.S. government and the reputation of the U.S. on a national and international scale, but it also hurts the way that information and trust for the government is passed from mouth to mouth. So if one person, for example, has a really high level of distrust and they are considered a credible, good individual by those around them, and they talk about how they're distrustful of the government, then everybody else will start to think that as well. So it ends up hurting everything in the long run, and it ends up hurting whether people stay informed, because they're more likely to just take the words of someone that they like at face value instead of actually researching the information themselves.
Cialdini's principle of commitment and consistency declares that human beings have a deep need to be seen as consistent. Once we have publicly committed to something or someone, we are much more likely to go through and deliver on that commitment in order to be seen as consistent. There is one simple way to apply the principle of commitment and consistency in political office. Look at ways to get the audience to agree with you in some small way. Then when larger issues come up, you have a chance of agreement. Ask your constituent to verbally agree or commit to supporting you on a smaller issue. Then later, in order to be seen as consistent, they will support you on a bigger issue. For example, if you are writing a bill for gun control, you could ask your constituents to declare that gun violence in schools is a problem in America. Then later, you could ask them to support your bill to reduce gun violence in schools, and because they already declared it was a problem, they will find themselves supporting your bill. Fear Appeals ventures on the idea of fear by theorizing that humans are so terrified of the risks of using and not using a specific product, service, or idea such that if one does not buy into it, some dire consequence will occur. This theory is a bit more complicated than commitment and consistency because it includes two factors, threat and efficacy. The idea of threat is very simple. It is a statement of an intention to inflict pain, injury, damage, or other hostile action on someone in retribution for something done or not done. But efficacy is more convoluted. When an individual feels their well-being is being compromised by the threat, he or she is more motivated towards an action that gives them the appearance of having more control over the situation. Because the intended tactic is to persuade your constituent to engage or not engage in certain behavior, you must first convince them of a threat, then convince them that if they follow your message, they will be effective in dissolving the threat. Continuing with the example of gun control bills, if you created an advertisement that showed an image of a little boy standing beside an armed shooter with a statistic about how many school shootings there were across the nation in 2015, then asked the viewer of the message to support your bill, you would find an increase in support. The viewer seeing this message would feel that if they supported this bill, they would play a role in saving the children of their community. If they did not support this bill, the threat is that they would feel personally responsible for ending the lives of children. Shown on your screen are gun control advertisements created by the group Moms Demand Action. These ads are similar to advertisements that would be effective for gathering support of your gun control bill. Whether you are gathering support for a bill, running for office, or even simply drumming up general support, the principle of commitment and consistency, as well as the theory of fear appeals, will persuade constituents to trust in your ability to do what is best for them. Because without trust, you can't represent.